Have you ever felt like the world around you is moving way too fast? The noise, demands, the expectations. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is step away, step into isolation. And not as a punishment, but as an art. Isolation isn't about being lonely, it's about learning to sit with yourself, to hear your own thoughts, and to find peace in the silence. In a world that constantly tells us to be busy, to connect, to be seen, isolation teaches us something far more powerful: how to reconnect with our own truth. Some people would say, doesn't isolation sound lonely? Like, isn't that a very lonely place to be? No. True isolation isn't about shutting yourself off from the world. It's about carving out space to hear yourself. It's about using solitude as a tool for self-discovery, reflection, and ultimately growth. It's in those quiet moments alone that we gain clarity, we hear our true desires, and we find the strength to make the decisions that align with who we're really meant to be. Think about it like this. We're constantly surrounded by distractions. Friends, family, social media. It's like we're drowning in other people's noise and other people's business. And in that, we lose sight of our own voice. Isolation offers us the chance to unplug and the chance to step into a space where we can listen, not to the world around us, but to the world within us. We can listen to ourselves. And if we're being real, it's in the hardest times of isolation that we often grow the most. The uncomfortable silence can sometimes be the mirror we've been avoiding. But here's the thing: isolation isn't about avoiding people or things. It's about tuning into what your soul needs. What do you really want? It's important for us to determine what that is without the constant noise of external validation. Learning to embrace isolation means learning to trust yourself. It's understanding that sometimes the most powerful moves we make in life are the ones made when we're not trying to please others, but simply trying to honor our purpose, simply trying to honor our inner voice. So, how can you embrace the art of isolation? Like, how can you master that? The first thing I think would be to unplug. Start by cutting out the noise, whether it's social media or constant notifications or even unnecessary conversations. Give yourself the gift of quiet, give yourself the gift of silence. The next thing you need to do is reflect. Use the silence to think. Use it as your tool. What do you really want out of life? Or what are your goals, your fears, your desires? The answers are typically found in the stillness of isolation. And then you need to look at it as your moment to recharge. Don't see solitude as a punishment. See it as a time to recharge, a time to fill your cup so that you can eventually pour into others when you're ready. Because we all know we can't pour from an empty cup. And lastly, you need to just be present. Embrace the present moment. Take walks alone. Go for a drink alone. Sit in silence at a cafe. Be okay with just being. Just for a moment. Just for a moment. And I want to remind you that isolation doesn't have to be scary. It's in these moments, in these solitary spaces, that we find our power. We find the courage to move forward, to make the boldest decisions, and to walk confidently in the direction of our dreams. It doesn't mean you're lost or disconnected. It means you're reconnecting with yourself, with your purpose, with the life that you want to create for yourself. If I'm being brutally honest, you'll never fully understand yourself if you don't spend time alone. We're living in a world where the pressure to stay busy is always there, to always be doing something. That pressure is always there and it's suffocating us. We fill our time with other people's voices and their opinions, their noise. And in doing so, we lose touch with who we are. The truth is, most of us are terrified of silence. We're afraid of what we might hear if we really stop and listen. Because when you're alone, you have to face the things you've been avoiding. You have to face the discomfort, the fear, the things you've buried deep down because they're too painful to confront. And that's where the power of isolation lies. So here's your challenge. Try spending time alone, like real, intentional time. Don't fill it with noise. Don't fill it with distractions. Embrace it. Embrace the silence. Embrace the discomfort. And then ask yourself the question that probably no one else will. What do I really need? Take care.